Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Sales Scoop. This is a weekly show for tech business founders who want to improve how they sell. My name's Alistair Cole, and I'm your host for today. I'm joined by my good friend and business partner, Kieran Gill. Good afternoon, Kieran.
Good afternoon, Alistair. Hello, everybody. My name's Kieran Gill and co-founder of the Uplift Partnership.
Thank you. We've got a very exciting topic on our hands for today's show, how AI is changing sales. We've got loads of great content to get through, which is why we're just going to crack straight into it. If you're following us live on LinkedIn, then you can leave us some comments. You can ask us questions in real time. So feel free to do that. We'll see if we can get on to those at the end of the show. Today is, like I said, about AI changing sales, and very interesting piece of news. Just this week, Mark Benioff came out and said that Salesforce would not be hiring any coders this year. Whether that's true or not, we'll see. But he wants to hire 2,000 or more salespeople in order to articulate the benefits of AI to potential customers of Salesforce. So it's just exploding. It's everywhere, isn't it? Isn't it, Kieran? AI.
It is, and especially when it comes to sales and marketing, you can see how everything within 2 years has just changed so rapidly. So it's no surprising that Salesforce are coming out with these kind of very bullish demands at the start of 2025 to make sure that the rest of the tech kind of cohort of companies suddenly understand that they're going to be serious this year about AI and how they're going to attack the market going forward.
Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. It's literally everywhere in sales, and we've done some research into it, and we've assessed the extent of the impact that AI is having on sales, and we reckon it's a whopping 83.6% of sales is being impacted already by AI. And we've got to that number by looking at what we see as the 7 core areas of sales for technology businesses, and our 360-degree sales diagnostic that has 52 metrics underneath. And we've analyzed each of those 7 areas and looked at the technology platforms and the tools and techniques that are available and assessed how much of an impact AI has had on all of them. And as you can see, they're very high. So, any highlights of things that are coming up in the show that you'd like to pick out, Kieran? What are you excited about talking about?
I want to talk about how I'm using AI in sales. Being somebody who's been in sales for a long, long time, how it's revolutionized the way I've done some work and some of the tools that I'm using. So I'm using a lot of voice interfaced AI when it comes to recording meetings, and also using voice to help me be quicker at emails and get my thoughts down on paper. Also, the tools that are integrated into those tools as well to make sure that if I am going to send an email using voice, that it's basically going to be grammatically correct and corrected for me without me really needing to do anything. Then looking into prospecting, how AI is helping me choose the companies that we should be, prospecting, who are key for us, and how that does so quickly. And then also deal closing, how CRM is now incorporating AI all the way across the board.
Yeah, it's a very exciting and fascinating world. And when we break down the types of AI that are being used for sales, there's really, there's the enterprise level. We're talking about the leading platforms that have been around for a while. They're very robust, and they have strong API, so you can connect into them with your other sales tools and the other applications you're building. You've got OpenAI's ChatGPT, everybody familiar with that, but I'm sure you've heard of Claude. We're using Perplexity a little bit as well. There's Google's Bard, Microsoft Copilot, Watson, and the open source Llama from Meta. So there's a broad range of enterprise level platforms that can be used. We've chosen to go down the route of OpenAI. Not sure that we'll stick with that, but we're tinkering with other tools as well, but that's where we like to play at the moment. And then you've also got, mid-level single-use AIs into things like HubSpot. We're going to talk about Chatling as a chat bot, and natural language assistant, and things like Napkin. And then the last layer, you've got everyday utility, and we're going to get onto some of those exciting examples in a little bit. So much to cover in this area. As we said, 83.6% coverage from AI. What we're doing today for this show is we're going to focus in 5 areas of where AI is changing B2B sales. Those are the 5, and we're going to get straight into our number 1, which is strategy. We're going to get into that strategy and start talking about 2 areas. One is where we're using, it really is focused around large language models for ideation and document creation. So, I know this is an area that you're using AI in, Kieran. Give us a little overview of how you're using large language models.
When it comes to realistically refining our target market, buyer personas, value propositions, whatever it may be in that first strategy kind of part of the sales engine, taking information that we gather from our clients and also information that we're getting from other sources, and then using a large language model to help us then take it and summarize that information into a point that we're working with the AI. We're not asking the AI to actually do it for us. We're working with it. We're manipulating that data. We're making sure that what comes out makes sense. And those value propositions that we're creating for our ideal customer profiles are actually resonating with our customers by going back to our customers and testing those things. So it really does speed up that whole process. And I remember back in the day, that used to take forever to do. And now suddenly with these large language models, you can really get to that quite quickly.
Yeah, and I think everybody is going to be, familiar with, ChatGPT, and that as a large language model. Everybody's had a play with it, and of course you can go and ask it quite difficult things, and you through text and in fact the audio interface, the voice interface is fantastic. You can go on a long journey and really dig into some of these strategic challenges, but really the real juice comes when we go a little bit further than just that kind of ChatGPT instance, and we climb a bit closer into an enterprise platform. In this case, we're looking at OpenAI's backend model. And here, one of our assistants, one of our agents that we've built over the last few months is called Project Mercury. This is our strategy companion and our strategy assistant. And we're using this to go on long journeys of discovery in the ways that Kieran's just talked about. And what's fantastic here is that we're preloading this agent, this assistant, as a dedicated sales resource for us. And we're able to train that model on files that we upload that define what our company's about, how we approach things, and also the details about the customers that we're working with, the clients we're working with, what's happening in the industry, what's happening out there in the wider world. And that allows us to have a kind of live sales assistant, an agent that we're using for all of our strategic considerations. And, that is a fascinating place to be when we're talking about, drawing insights from historical data to forecast, suggesting the best sales methodologies for our clients, researching target markets, and suggesting untapped use cases for their products and services. So that strategy and planning area really works very nicely with large language model. And if you can get into the more enterprise end, and we'll come on to how we can use that into agents a bit later. So a fly through in terms of strategy. Our next section is lead generation. We've got a few things to share before we do. Kieran, how are you using AI, or what tools are you using for AI for lead generation?
So after the point of using an open AI to actually then first find out the value proposition, all that data that we've got from our customers, you're then able to find the kind of ideal customers you want to find. Now, using something like Apollo at this point really makes real sense, because they have so much client data out there that you can go in there. You can set up a lead scoring system in there that is also generated from the information that you put in. It's now got a lot more AI in there, Apollo. In the last few weeks, they've released a lot more behind it. So now what you're getting is real companies being added to your list that fit your ideal customer profile from the scoring you've got. And what you'll get there is a bunch of companies that will be excellent fits. Now, obviously, this is AI generated. You need to do the hard work then of looking at that company to make sure that it actually does fit, because as always, these things cannot be always 100% correct, but they do make your life a lot easier and quicker to get to that point.
Yeah, thank you. And I think one of the examples we wanted to show here is Apollo and the lead scoring that you're using inside Apollo. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what we're looking at and what some of the benefits you see from using this?
Yeah, so see on the left-hand side there, you'll get a company list there. So I've gone down to the filters. I've created the ideal kind of customer size. Most people who are doing prospecting understand this. This is where you'll categorize who you're looking for. You can see as you go down, you can put more and more filters in there. As you can see that there's a new button there that says AI filters. This is where you can actually now load in a lot more information. As Alistair was saying before, brand books, all sorts of information that you need to put in there to make it even more refined. And then you'll get a list of companies. If you look towards the center there on the right-hand side, you can see what the scores are. You probably can't see them very clearly there, but these are all companies that when I was searching for ideal customer profile for ourselves, looking into all of that data we have, these companies fit them. What we have then in the center there is the company name, and also we've got links straight into their emails and also straight into their LinkedIn profile. So we can do our research straight from there. Also, using Apollo, we'll be able to even gather more information about the company, relevant news, what's been released lately, has there been any movements within the company. So it's all there for you to find.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely brilliant that it's doing that work quickly, and that's some of the stuff that we're seeing here, where we're able to increase our power and do things we weren't able to do before, and also reduce the time, which is all absolutely critical, because 87% of buyers are expecting to be delighted, right, before and after purchase, according to Forrester. And so what we're going out in lead generation with is absolutely critical. And one of the tools that we've built for ourselves is our white paper wizard. And that takes an existing white paper template and a theme and mashes up with it the leads that we have in our pipeline. And we're able to create thousands of hyper-personalized PDF white papers at the drop of a hat. And we're not just talking about having the client's buyer's name on the front and the date. We're talking about a hyper-personalized first section where there's a letter from you to them, and we're contextualizing the rest of the white paper so that they know which bits are going to be most important for them and their business. And the more data we're loading into that white paper wizard, the higher quality that output is. So lead generation really succeeding with AI. The third section is how AI is fast tracking, accelerating self-service. I mean, it's an absolutely critical area for sales right now. I know you're very experienced in the world of enterprise, Kieran. Talk to us a little bit about self-service. How important is that today?
Oh, you're our resident guru when it comes to self-service, Alistair. So I've seen the shift is massive when it comes to enterprise. You can see how the actual sales funnel is now contracting, where a lot of the buyers are making their decisions at the website. They're already doing their research. That's why your website and your self-service, even if you're selling something very expensive in enterprise, needs to be perfect. So, what kind of information could you give us, Alistair? What should be the creme de la creme that our viewers should be thinking about?
Well, if you map out building self-service capability, it's not something that happens overnight. You're always going to start with a traditional sales team, certainly if you're in a startup mode, but you want to be moving down that route beyond just a quality product UI, which should be helping customers. Obviously there's website landing pages, but you want to be moving to the right-hand side here and getting, self-service, self-guided learning and support, an integration API. So there's a whole range of things, guided onboarding and tours. There's a whole range of things that are absolutely critical, and we're going to touch on a few of those now. The real world is that 8 out of 10 buyers prefer self-service. There's still a place for human sellers, there always will be, both to oversee those tools and to help close bigger deals. But the kinds of things that AI can help you with, basic stuff like building out your website, your homepage, right? The sections that you've got there, the copy, the images that you're using. We are big fans of Midjourney and Discord, and here's an example prompt for a male business tech founder struggling with AI. You should be using large language models to turn out your FAQs, right? That can be done at the drop of a hat once you've loaded your data into the back end. And you should be having high quality chatbots, right, that are there as self-service assistants on your website. And the one that I'm showing here is Chatling, which is a fantastic chatbot that can be embedded into Squarespace and really deliver on the goods. Chatling has a really simple UI in terms of building the chatbot model, and I've highlighted here on the right hand side where you can choose between a knowledge base or the AI model. And if you just take the AI model, then that allows people chatting there to open up and ask any kind of question, right? Whereas if you go down the knowledge base route and you load in some of the assets that you should have to hand, brand and sales assets and trading data on your products and services, you load those in as you would load into your enterprise AI system, then your chatbot is hyper tailored. And actually, we would advocate having a different assistant with different information on each landing page to support those products and services. And then from Chatling, it's just instantly able to drop into your website in a number of different ways, floating or inline or full screen. And that is using an AI interface effectively to take your questions and answers and interrogate. You have a choice about opening that chatbot up for full AI model or narrowing it down to the knowledge base, which we would recommend. But pretty much every aspect of your website, right, should be being built at lightning speed using some of those AI tools. The fourth area we want to focus on today is deal closing. One of the harder areas for AI to support, but yet we're seeing movement in this space. How are you feeling about this, Kieran? Deal closing supported by AI.
It's getting there. It's one of the parts where AI hasn't really. It's there in the background, and it's slowly beginning there. And now, what I've seen in the last few months or so, that you can see that it's really now helping these enterprise sellers or people who are selling something that's got a longer sales cycle, also something a little bit more expensive that needs a lot more human interactive, traditional selling, as we would like to call it. Where you're seeing that is, first of all, you're looking at the voice recorders themselves. So companies like Eric.ai, that is a British-based voice recorder. I'm a big fan of British tech. We've got to support it where we can. This takes on the big boys like Otter and the other ones. This really makes your life really easy, because what you've got to think about is that you're recording your meetings, your video meetings, and you're getting all of that information summarized. You're getting your task lists built. And if you've got multiple meetings with that same client, you need this one place where you can feed all this information into your CRM. That CRM now with Copilot can then summarize where the deal is, tell you where your gaps are, what you've done with your last emails, how many times you've sent them, messages and all those. And then finally, you're going to bring that all together with a revenue coach that'll help you deal score, telling you what's going to be your next move. So you can see that I'm integrating 3 tools there. These are things that I actually do myself day to day, and it's making a massive difference, because in complex selling, you need all the help you can get, because it's not easy.
Yeah, you talked about HubSpot's Copilot there, and it's relatively new. Even on their knowledge base, they're still talking about it as beta. Very exciting, and as an early adopter, you're in there. This is the result from Copilot on your usage. You want to articulate how this is beneficial to you and how it's helping with deal scoring?
Yeah, so basically what it's doing, it is summarizing where this deal is. Now, I know this screenshot is quite basic in what it's giving me. However, like all AI models, it's only as good as the information I'll put in there, and also the prompt I'm asking it. So the more information I put in there, so if I put in all of my conversations with multiple stakeholders at this company, I'm going to get a more rounded understanding or a rounded summary of what has to be done next for this client and what I've done last. It's doing this extremely quickly. I mean, it is rapid. So those of you who are HubSpot users and haven't pressed that Copilot button yet, honestly, give it a go, have a workout, give me some feedback. Tell me how you're using it. So we're all learning together.
Yeah, and then you mentioned Revenue Coach, and that's a tool that we've built ourselves that is a personalized sales coach for the price of a coffee, and gives you immediate sales coaching on the deal, your live deals. It integrates with HubSpot and other CRMs, and you can get more information at revenuecoach.ai. Let's move on to the last section where AI is impacting sales, or the last one that we've picked, and that is in customer success. I know you're a big fan, my friend, of the potential of video to go and target leads and nudge deals along, and we've been heavy users of HeyGen in the past. Where do you see this going, Kieran?
I think it's perfect for customer success. For small startups that haven't got the people power to continuously be on site. Things like you were talking about with the chatbots being on your website, and then using avatar generated customer success managers who are going to be making sure that you keep in contact with those customers that it's taken you so long to win. Now you'll be able to create a video for them and make it personalized and send it to them. And because they've already got that relationship with a real person, if you say to them, look, we're going to be sending you something from our AI avatar here, they're going to be open to that because they know that there's somebody real in the background. Further, earlier on in the sales process, I think people might be a little bit hesitant being sold to by something that's not real. However, after you've sold to them, I feel that there's going to be some kind of movement there. You're not going to be worried too much that the generated image in front of you isn't a real person.
Yeah, it's a very exciting world. It makes me feel a little bit anxious about how that's going to work, but these things will come out as culture adopts. And then another huge area in customer success is the ability to expose some of those agents I talked about earlier, expose them to clients, right, to help them accelerate their sales power and accelerate their income generation. And one of these platforms is, or my favorite, the one that we've played with most, is called Bubble. It's bubble.io. And Bubble is a no-code platform, right, that allows you to build components, build web pages and build applications with a very, very little technical knowledge. And we use it we have various projects in there, various agents that we've built. One of them is our 360 sales diagnostic interrogator. And we have an assistant that people can play with on the website to learn about the 360. But in the interrogator, it's actually able to sit down and treat you like a client and go on a long journey with you, a long conversation, asking the 62 questions that we ask during the 360. And we're able to expose that bubble instance publicly and allow our clients to go in there and sign in. And the conversations that they have with these agents through Bubble are recorded, so we can go back and see what their answers are and help the AI get to a really powerful score and a really great understanding. And we're creating these individual agents, these sales agents for ourselves, and we're creating them for our customers as well. It is a no-code platform. At the same time, there are a little bit of technical nuances that are needed. Connecting to APIs and the likes through Bubble isn't always easy, but the results are quite phenomenal. And we're seeing clients use our agents in their own time, at their own pace, to get where they need to get to with a lot of our products and services. So those are the big five, are January 14th picks of how AI is changing sales. I think that's pretty much it. We're just going to wrap up there very quickly. I want to give you the opportunity, my friend, if you've got any closing thoughts or one tip you'd want someone to take away or one tool for them to try.
I think the major thing here is to have a look at your sales process and see where you need help. So have a look at the sales process, wherever it is. How can you use potentially AI to help you, either generate more leads or close more deals or create better content? Have a look where you can start and reach out to us. We're happy to help, happy to have a conversation, point you in a direction that will help.
Yeah, thank you. Our white paper, most recent white paper, went live just at the end of last year, the Empowered Founder Seller. You can get that at theupliftpartnership.com/white-paper. Our next show, which is a week today, I'll be interviewing Aaron Gera. He's the co-founder of the AG Finance and Technology Group. It's a very exciting platform he and his team have just launched. It's the world's first and only tech-led tax and financial services app. It's had some exposure in the independent and is going great guns. So really looking forward to talking to Aaron. If you'd like to see any of the past episodes even of the Sales Scoop, head over to thesalescoop.com. You might find something you like there. That's it. That's us. End of the show. Hopefully you've gained a lot more insight into how AI is impacting sales. Really, all that's left for me is to thank you, Kieran.
Pleasure, Alistair.
Absolutely loved it. Thanks everybody for watching and recording. We'll see you live here Tuesday next week at midday.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.